Hello everyone, this is Anmol from Brain Mentors, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about switch case in Python. But before moving ahead, let me tell you that there is no switch case in Python. So let's take a scenario that you want to build a menu driven program in Python, something like calculator, where you are going to tell to your user that press 1 if you want to perform addition on two numbers, press 2 if you want to perform subtraction, 3 for multiplication, and 4 for division, and so on. Okay, so how you are going to perform that if you don't have switch case? That's correct. You are going to do that with if else, something like this, where you will say that if user has entered 1, we are going to call add function, which is going to perform the specific task. For 2, we are going to call subtract, multiply, division based on the user's choice, something like that, and so on for all other functions. This is okay for 4 functions, but what if you have got like 40 functions, right? So something like this happens. It will become some if else ladder, and it's a small ladder. It will scale up to 40 functions, and something like this happens to your code. It just grows and grows and grows, and you have plenty of conditions. Python has given us more better ways to perform these things, even if we don't have switch case in here, and you don't need to use if else also. So we have got two different ways here to perform the same things without using if else or switch case. One is list and the other one is dictionary. And in both of these ways are very good. Dictionary is a little bit better because it has got another benefit that it can handle errors also. Okay, so I'm going to take you through both of these. So let's quickly get started. So in this video we are going to implement both of these things. First we will start with the list. Okay, so let's start with building a function here. Okay, so I'm going to build a function here. Let's say the function name is get input. Okay, and currently I'm just going to put pass here. Just a second, I will just remove this warning from here. Okay, so I've got a function here. Let's say this function is going to take some input. So let's say first number is going to be entered by user. So I will just say input function, and in there I will just pass a message to the user that enter first number. And because this is a number, this is going to be an integer, so I'm going to convert this to int. I'm going to typecast into int using the int function. Then I need the second number just like this. So again, int typecasting and input function here. I will say enter second number. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to return both of these numbers back wherever we need them. So return fnum, snum. Now let's build 4 functions which are going to perform our basic calculations like add, subtract, multiply, divide, and you can add more if you want, like modulus or power. You can do that on your own. So we are going to build 4 functions here. So one is going to be your add, then it's going to be subtract, third one is going to be your divide, and the last one we are going to build here is our multiply. So mul and then pass. Currently we'll put the logic later on. So put the logic in all 4 of these. So what we are going to do is first we need the input. So I'm going to call the get input function from here, so that I get the input from the function that we just created in the beginning lines, and it's going to return us 2 values. So I'm going to store it in, let's say, x and y variable. Similarly, I'm going to do that here. So I will just copy paste these lines like this. After taking input, we need to return the value after performing the particular operation. So return x plus y. Here we are going to do is return x minus y. Here I'm going to say return x divided by y, and here I'm going to say, and let's make it double slash because I want to do the float division. I want the output also as integer, not as float. Okay, so I am going to use double slash for doing the division. That is, I'm using what? I'm using the float division here, not the normal division. So let's return the multiply thing here. Return x multiplied by y. Okay, now I want a menu to display something to user, some particular program like 1 2 3 4 what you need to press for what particular operation. So I'm going to show that small menu to the user. For that we can use print function, and in that we can use multi-line string. So print function, and in this I can just use multi-line strings anytime to print out a menu like this. And here I'm going to say press 1 for add, press 2 for subtract, press 3 for multiply, press 4 for divide, like that. Okay, I'll just make it a little bit better, like this. Okay, I think I have done wrong. We have created div on for the third one and multiply for the fourth one. So I'll just correct it out. After, we are going to take input from user and perform the operation based on that particular choice that user inputs. So for that we are going to just use a variable here choice and take an input from user, and we are going to say here that's just enter your choice. So I will say enter your choice, and I'm going to convert it back to int. Okay, so now we have menu, we have got functions, and we have got the input available with us in the choice variable. Now we need to just call the functions out which user wants based on the input he or she enters. Okay, so let's do this using list first, then we are going to talk about dictionary. So we are going to store the function names inside a list like something like this. We are going to create a list first, name operations, and I'm going to put all the names here. So first one is add, then we have got subtract, then we have got divide, and then we have got multiply. Okay. And notice one thing here, that I haven't put parentheses after the names of my functions like this. Okay, why I haven't done that? Because if you are doing this particular thing, if you are putting the brackets after your function names, they will get called whenever the line 31 executes. Whenever this particular line executes, all the function are going to execute at once, because parenthesis means call this particular function. So we are not going to call a function here, but we are actually going to just pass the reference values. Okay, we are going to call it later on based on what the user has entered. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we are going to just call out the function. Now we are ready for doing that particular task. So what we are going to do here, we are just going to fetch the particular name of the function that we want to execute based on the choice. But there is a slight problem, that the user is actually going to enter 1 2 3 4, but the indexes for these functions are 0 1 2 3. Let's say you want to perform add, you are going to enter the choice here as 1, but the index here for add function is 0. So for that I need to pass the index here is as choice minus 1. I always need to subtract 1 from the choice that the user enters, so that I can extract the correct function. After doing this, I'm just going to call out the particular function like this, and in that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call that. We don't need any parameters or anything, we can just directly call it out. Okay, like this I've just put the parentheses. So what it's going to do, it will just go to operations list, it's going to fetch the particular function sitting on the particular index, and then it's going to just call that function. Let's say it's going to call add. Okay, and in return what we are going to get is we are going to get the result, or we can say we are going to get the output. So we can just print this output and check if the results are correct or not. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, let's see if everything goes fine or we have got some problem here. So I'm going to add, let's say add, it's going to ask for two numbers here, so I will say 10 and 20, and then it just says 30. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to run it once again. It's going to say subtract, I'm going to say 20 and 10, it again says 10. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try multiply and use a big number. So I'm going to say multiply, and let's say 1 2 3 multiply with 4 5 6, and it's going to perform this multiplication. I think that's correct, so we can just move forward. Okay, so we have finished our first part of this switch case thing, And you can see this is a better way better solution than using if else. Okay, if even if you are having too many options, then you can just build a list, and based on that you can fetch something out on the particular index and then call it, instead of using so many lines and building a ladder out of if else conditions. But there is a particular disadvantage, if you must have noticed, in this particular way of using list. The problem is that if we pass some invalid choice, the user currently passed 1, 2, 3, or 4 when we tested, but if user passes 5 or 0, then what's going to happen? You are just going to see some error. Okay, let me show you how that is going to be coming here. So let's first terminate this thing. Okay, we can test it here only. I will just pass in 5, and after doing this it just says list index out of range. So to get rid of this problem, you again have to use if else condition, and again it's going to be a tedious task, so let's not do that. Let's just move on to the dictionaries part, and let's talk about how dictionaries can be helpful in doing this particular switch case thing. Okay, and how it's going to be better than list also. So when we are talking about dictionary, so I'm just going to comment out the particular things for your list, this one, and this one. And we are going to perform the dictionary task here. So I'm just going to say here that I'm going to build a dictionary instead of list now. So I will just do what? I will just say operations is going to be a dictionary now. And in this dictionary, I'm going to say when the user press once, I need to call the add function. So we are just using the key value pairs here. For 2, I'm going to say subtract. For 3, I'm going to say divide. And for 4, I'm going to say multiply. Okay. Quite easy, just like we did it in list, only that we have introduced keys here. Now we are ready finally to call the functions once again. Okay, but there is a little advantage or a little feature that the dictionary has, which we are going to utilize here. So now to call the dictionary or to extract the function out of the dictionary and then call it, what we have got is we have got some particular function with this dictionary. So if you write operations and then just use this get method here, this get method has got a feature here. So you can just pass in your choice here, like we are just going to say choice. Okay, now the first thing is that you don't need to pass -1 because you are not using indexes here, you are just using the keys. So whatever user enters, you can just directly pass it in here. You don't need to even subtract -1. So first point of ease comes here. The second best thing, the advantage over the list, is that it has got something called as this default equal to none here. Okay, so what this default equal to none is doing here is, it actually says that if you are passing in some valid key, then I'm going to find the choice, I'm going to look for the value, and then you can do whatever you want with that value. But if I'm not able to, I'm not able to find this particular key that you're passing in this choice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this value back to you. Currently this value is none. As you can see, default is none. Default means that if the key is invalid and I'm not able to find anything, like it happened in list, it just gave the error of list index out of range. So that is not cool. We want that instead of giving that error, it just perform something else. It just gives some error message like the operation is not successful, or the input that you gave is wrong, something like that. Okay, so what we want is, instead of giving none back, I'm just going to say that we are going to give some function name here, which is going to handle whenever the key is invalid. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to create a function here. Let's say I'm going to create another function here after multiply. So let's say I'm going to build error handler. So whenever some error happens, whenever the user enters some invalid choice, so I'm going to just return a particular message from here that will be invalid choice only. Okay, and from here we are going to call this method. So I will just say error handler. And whatever happens, if the choice is valid, you are going to get add, subtract, divide, or multiply the function name back or the function reference back. Similarly here, if the choice is invalid, you are going to get the error handler reference back. So we are going to just call it out like this. So whatever function reference we get, we need to call it out. So I have just put the parenthesis here. So it's going to fetch the function name from the operations dictionary, or if the key is invalid, it's going to give me back the error handler functions reference. I'm just going to call it out using these parentheses. And whenever it's going to call it out, what we are going to receive is, we are going to just receive is output, like just we did in the list case, and then we are going to print this output. So print, we are going to say output. Okay, I have misspelled it like this. So let's go ahead and test this dictionary thing that we have fixed here. So now I'm going to try with division, because we have tried all the other options in the previous section. So I'm going to enter the choice 3, then sub number and some another number. Let's put a smaller number, and it's always going to give me some integer as a result, because I have used float division, not the normal division. Okay, that's working perfectly fine. Let's try to give in some invalid choice and see what happens. So I'm going to give here the choice as 5, and it's coming out to be invalid choice. Okay, so this is how you perform the switch case part in Python. These two things, list and dictionary, both the ways you have seen, both these ways are the alternatives for the switch case in Python. You don't need switch case here, and don't use if else please. Try to use any one out of these, and it will be better if you use dictionary, because it has got a very big advantage over the list. Okay, so I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back with more Python videos and videos on other technologies also. See you in the next video.